Hi everyone, my name is Mary and welcome back to Quinn Inc. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today we are going to start a brand new project. So I have a purple marker in front of me because I'm going to show you how to make this. This is going to be a Batman blanket. And yes, this is a Batman symbol. I am going to cut these. I'm going to cut the Batman symbol into 3 sections. And as you can see, there is your line right there where I'm going to cut it. So as I'm drawing the line, I'm going to talk about how we're going to do this. So exactly how we're going to do this is we're going to cut the Batman into 3 sections, just like this. We're going to work on each section separately. I have drawn a bigger version of each of the wings, the middle Batman portion, and I have cut those up into smaller sections, and they look like this. So as you can see, there is the blue right here, and there is the black line and the yellow. So that would be pretty much down here. As for my drawing, these little black lines that go around the Batman are actually a little bit longer. So that's what you see here. So it would actually be this long line right here, and then this section right here. This is a smaller symbol of a Batman, and I actually got this one off of the internet, and I drew it much bigger. So I drew this one, and then I drew a bigger one of each of my 3 sections and how I wanted it to be. So this will be the wing section. As you can see, I have labeled it, and this says square number 1. This is section number 2. And as you can see, as you put the 2 together, it starts to form the Batman symbol. And then if you grab 3, there's 3. And as you can see, there is the Batman, and there is his border and the yellow portion inside. This is the blue portion that will be on the outside of the whole Batman symbol. And then this is portion 4. And this will be the connection of the Batman right there. And then this is also starting part of the Batman as well. Okay? So I hope this makes a lot more sense. I will have these little pieces of paper, and we will actually crochet one of these. And here is what the section actually looks like. Let me pull my camera out real quick so I can show you. So that is what it actually looks like. This is going to be a very big blanket. It is not going to be a small blanket. If you would like a small blanket, you can use a smaller hook size or less rows. The blanket measurements that I have is actually going to be 60 in length, and I believe I'm going to make it 60 wide. This is going to be 80 rows going this way, and for this bottom piece right here, I'm going to have 77 rows. 77 rows. So, this will be 77 stitches. So if you crocheted this back and forth, you would have 77 stitches. That takes way too long to do. If that is something you would like to do, you are more than welcome to. This is your blanket. You can do however you want it. This portion I did 65 stitches, and then this one is going to be 77. I hope this explains how we're going to do our project. We are actually going to get started. I do have a bigger version of this. If you give me 1 second, let me go grab that. Alrighty, so I'm back, and this is my bigger version of the wing section. And as you can see, I drew everything out. And as you can see, right here is the first square that we're going to be starting on. I'm going to get out of my chair real quick. So this is the first section we're going to start on. This will be the second second square, third, and the fourth. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. This is actually a very big wing section. Having a little bit of problems trying to get it into my tiny little screen. But this is actually the full entire wing section that you see in the smaller version. So this big section that you see in front of you is actually going to be this whole entire first section. And I'm going to show you how to do each of these squares. And I have broken them up into 20 stitches wide and 20 rows tall. I will show you how to do each section just like this one. I'm going to teach you how to do this one real shortly. It is also reversible. So we will be doing this same wing section that you see here for the second wing. So we will be doing it for the left wing and the right wing because it is reversible. These are very easy and very quick, and it's a lot faster to do these squares than doing it 77 stitches and 80 rows. Okay, so let's get on to the tools section of our Batman blanket. Alrighty, so I'm back, and this is going to be the tools section of the Batman blanket. So I am using a 5.5 millimeter hook for this whole entire project. If you would like to, you may use a smaller hook, or you can use a larger hook. If you use a larger hook, it will make the project much bigger. So be a little aware of that. If you want a smaller hook, you can use a smaller hook. You can use like a 4 millimeter hook to make everything a little smaller. The next thing you're going to need is a tapestry needle. This one's pretty big. You can use a smaller one. You're also going to need another needle for thread. And I have purple thread, but I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use a black thread. So that way we can sew, I can show you right here, each of the sections together to make this whole entire piece. And I will show you how to sew each of those sections as we finish them. So you will need 2 needles, one to sew in your strings and one for thread. If you're not going to use thread and you're going to single crochet everything or do something different, then that's fine. These are just suggestions. Don't forget, you're also going to need a pair of scissors. And one more thing I would suggest, take your yarn and roll them up into smaller yarn balls like this. This will help when you are connecting all of your yarn. If I can grab this piece here, as you can see in this piece, you're going to have blue, you're going to have black, and you're going to have yellow. You are going to be connecting each of your yarn pieces right here on the side. So you will connect the black, you will go across, and then you will crochet that blue. And you will drop the black right here, but you won't cut it off, and then you'll pick up your blue section and crochet it. And you'll keep doing that with yellow and black. And I will show you how to do each of these squares. The next thing you're also going to need is black yarn. You can use red heart. I also have yellow yarn. And the last piece is a blue yarn. And this blue yarn I have is actually called Daft Blue. Right now I am using, it looks like 364 yards. So I actually bought 4 of these yarn balls, skeins, excuse me. I bought 4 blue yarn skeins, 4 black, and 4 yellow. And I have put them in smaller balls like this, so as I'm crocheting it, it's easier to help me from getting all the balls tangled or all the skeins tangled. I believe that is everything that you will need for your project as tools. So every time we start these videos, I will no longer tell you the tools. I will just tell you you'll just need your 5.5 millimeter hook and your yarn, and we will start making each of the squares. In some of the videos I may make 2 squares or 1, depending on how difficult or how long it takes. Okay, so let's get started with the wing square 1, and I am going to call this section 1 because we have 4 parts to this section. So in the wing section 1, I'm only going to do square 1 because we're starting the project, and this might take a little bit longer because I'm showing you how to do this step by step. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so hopefully you grabbed your 5.5 millimeter hook and your blue yarn. We are going to start with wing square 1, and this is what the wing square 1 looks like. If you're wondering what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing a foundation double crochet to start, okay? And right here it says 20, so we're going to do a double foundation of 20 stitches. And then at the top here you see 20 again. This is just going to be 20 wide and 20 rows tall. I will show you how to change your yarn once we get to this black section right here. And as you can see, it shows 2 little graph squares, and that will be 2 rows. Okay, so to do a foundation double crochet, you're going to make a slip knot, just like this. I'm going to move this out of the way for 1 second. Okay, and now that you have your slip knot, you're going to chain 2. 1 and 2. Okay, so now you have 2 chains on your hook. You're going to wrap your yarn around your hook, go back into that first chain where the bump is right there, because we're going to be working in the back. Put your hook into that bump, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Make sure to keep your loops pretty loose. You're going to wrap your yarn around your hook, and into that first loop you're just going to make a chain. Then you're going to wrap your yarn around your hook and make your double crochet, just like this. And what you're making there is a chain 1 and a double crochet. You're going to wrap your yarn around your hook, and as you can see, this little piece right here on the side by my thumb, we're going to go under both bars like this. Grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Grab your working yarn and pull through 1 to make the chain. Finish off your double crochet, pulling through both loops. And what we're doing here is we're working on the bottom. So this is your bottom, excuse me, this right here is your bottom where my thumb is. This is your top. So when you turn it over, you'll be working in these stitches. This is going to be your row 1. So wrap your yarn around your hook. The next one is going to be right here. It kind of looks a little twisted right here, as you can see. Grab your working yarn, pull up a loop. Make sure to keep it pretty loose. You don't want it to be too tight. Then you're going to grab your working yarn, pull through only that 1 loop. Grab your working yarn, pull through 2 to finish off your double crochet, and pull through 2. And that's how you do your foundation. And as you can see, we have little stitches down here at the bottom. So I normally hold my middle finger and thumb on these 2, so I know my next stitch I'm going to go into. Grab my working yarn, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook. Grab your working yarn, only pull through that first loop. Grab your working yarn, pull through 2. Grab your working yarn and pull through 2. And if you turn it, you can see the double crochet and your chain stitches right here on the bottom. I am going to do 20 of these chain stitches. I've already done 4. Almost 16 more is how many I have to do. When I have done 20 of these foundation single crochets, I will show you what to do next. Okay, so I made my 20 foundation stitches. We're going to turn them over. Make sure that you count them to make sure you have 20. And now we're just going to chain 1, and we're going to wrap our yarn around our hook, go back into that same stitch for a double crochet. And you're going to double crochet into each stitch across that you just made. Okay, and this is all we're going to do is double crochets. If you're wondering what that tapping is, it's my watch. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're just going to double crochet until we get to the end of the row. Alright, so I have one more double crochet. I just have to double crochet into. And then all you're going to do is you're going to chain one and double crochet. On our little pattern right here, you're going to double crochet 12 rows of blue. I am going to double crochet those 12 rows of blue. Once I am done with the 12 rows, I will come back with my black and I will show you how many more rows, I will show you how to change colors and do the black portion along with the blue portion. Come back with the blue and the black and the yellow and the black and the yellow. I will show you how to do all of these color changes. You will not, when you do any of your color changes, you will not cut your yarn. It will stay with you, and a lot of times you will take it with you as you go over these rows. So I'm going to do 10 more rows because we already did 2. This is your first row. Okay, so this is your first row and this is your second row. So we already did 2 rows. I'm going to do 10 more. When I'm done and I have all 12 rows, I will show you how to connect your black. And yes, that is a number 11, and that means we are doing 11 black. Then you will go to your blue, and I will show you right here how to change from black to blue. And it is so easy, okay? So I will be back shortly. Okay, so I made my 12 blue double crochets, and I have 2 more stitches that I just have to double crochet. So I'm going to double crochet those really quickly. Let me move my camera up so you can see me. Okay, and this is the very last one. Now, as you can see, I didn't finish my double crochet, and the reason why is because if you look on our diagram right here, we're going to need to crochet this black strip right here. 2 rows of it. So you're going to grab your black yarn ball and pull out some yarn. And the easiest way I have found to do this is you're going to make a slip knot. Okay, I know a lot of people do not do this, so I'm going to make a quick slip knot. Okay, and then what I do is I pull on it with my finger through. That gives me a little bit of spacing. I'm going to put this onto my hook like this, and I'm going to pull through both of those loops. Then I'm going to take my blue yarn, and as you can see, I just pulled on it. I'm going to remove the working yarn and grab the yarn tail of the black and the working yarn of the blue. We're going to make a quick little tie. That's it. Not too tight. If you make it too tight, this tends to pull right here and it looks terrible. Now you are ready to start working on the black section. So now we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work. And according to my little instructions here, as you can see, there's a little 11 right there. That means I have to double crochet 11 stitches before I get to my blue section again and crochet that 13th row, because this is row 13. So what you're going to want to do is take your blue working yarn and put it on top of your stitches. So we're going to yarn over. I'm going to go under both bars. I'm going to turn my work towards me, because you're going to see me put that blue yarn on top of that stitch, grab my working yarn and pull up a loop to finish off my double crochet. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing that until I have 11 stitches, and I'm taking this blue yarn with me. And if you feel it's not in there, you're going to turn your work and you'll see on the other side that your blue yarn, if I pull on it a little bit, you'll see it right there, pull, is in between my stitches. You're going to pull that yarn with you as you make your 11 black double crochets. Okay, when I have made 11, I will be back and I will show you what to do next. Okay, I'm back and I've made 10 black double crochets. I have one more double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, go into your stitch, grab your working yarn and pull up a loop. Grab your working yarn and only pull through 2. You're going to drop your black yarn behind your work like this, and you're going to pick up that blue yarn that you took with you, and you're going to pull it right through both of those stitches. This black yarn is going to stay here at double crochet number 11 in black. And now you're just going to double crochet in the blue until you get, excuse me, sorry, sometimes the black yarn and the blue yarn like to tangle. So you're going to double crochet until you get to the end right here. Then if we look at our diagram, since we're on this row right here, which is row number 13, you're going to go to row number 14 and you're going to double crochet in blue, and then you're going to pick that black back up again and double crochet to the end. Then we're going to add the yellow, and when I get there I'll show you what to do. Okay, so I reached the end of the blue and I have one more stitch to put in there. Now again, we are still on row 13. This is row 12 and this is row 13 where that black is. We're now going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work. Make sure your black yarn ends up on this side because you're going to be picking that back up. You're going to, going to double crochet back to that black section. Okay? I am going to meet you back at this black section right here. I'll meet you right here. Actually, I'm going to meet you one stitch before, and I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so I finished with that blue section and I said I was going to meet you right here, and here I am. Okay, here we go again. So we're going to yarn over, go into that blue stitch, pull up a loop, grab your working yarn and pull only through 2. You're going to drop your blue yarn. Now you're going to pick up your black yarn and you're going to pull the black yarn through both of those loops. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, well look, there's now a long piece right here. What do? You're going to yarn over. You're going to also go underneath that piece and into your stitch. Grab your working yarn, pull through that stitch and the one you just picked up. Okay, so I'll try that one more time. So this piece right here, we're going to crochet into our double crochet and make it invisible. And you can always pull on your little blue yarn too. Yarn over, okay? So those are your 2 stitches. This is not a stitch. You're just picking it up and going into the black stitch. Okay, so it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold this stitch and this stitch with your thumb as you grab your working yarn and pull through. Okay? And then you're going to grab your working yarn and finish off with a double crochet. That way it becomes invisible and you don't actually see that into your work. We're trying to hide those so nobody sees those yucky little stitches in there, because sometimes they can be very irritating, annoying, look really funny. We don't want that. We want our work to look good. So that is one way to hide those. I am going to double crochet to the end right here, and then we're going to grab our yellow yarn right here and we are going to double crochet, let's see here, 12, 13, we're now on row number 14 because we have the 2 black sections, so we're now on row number 14 and we are coming back this way and then we're going to pick up the yellow and go that way. So we're going to have to take the black with us as we're double crocheting the yellow, and I'll show you how to do that. So when I'm done, I will meet you back over here to start our yellow section. So don't forget to grab your yellow yarn ball when we start that section. Okay, so I finished my black row and I got to the end right here, and we're going to yarn over, go into the very last stitch, pull up a loop, grab your working yarn and only pull through 2. You're going to put down your work, grab your yellow yarn ball. Again, we're going to make a slip stitch. Now we're going to be on row number 15. So we're finishing row number 14, making that slip stitch, grabbing our new yarn, pulling through the 2 stitches on the black, and also pulling up on the black right here to kind of secure it. Pull your yellow working yarn out of the way, grab the yellow the yellow yarn tail, tie 1 knot. Don't make it too tight and just leave it. Okay. Now we are going to be working on row number 15. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now if we look back on here, we're now going to be doing 11 yellow double crochets because this black was 11, and as you can see it stops right at the black, so all of these rows are 11, and this black one is going to be 5. So we're going to have to carry our black yarn with us so that way we can finish crocheting this black section, and then our blue is going to have to be carried with us as well once we get to this black section. So we're going to pick up our blue yarn and carry it over here so then we can crochet it back and forth, and I'll show you how to do that once we get there. So you're going to grab your black yarn like we did with the blue and put it on top of your stitches, yarn over, go into the first stitch, grab your yellow, make sure it's secure in there, and finish off your double crochet. Make 11 yellow stitches. Actually, make 10 yellow stitches, and once we make 10, I'll show you how to make the 11th one and change it to the black. Okay, so I made my 11 double crochets. We have 1 more double crochet right here. I'm going to yarn over. Make sure that you carry that black yarn with you through your stitches, laying it on top of your stitches right here. As you can see, these V stitches, you can actually take your yarn and lay it right on top, and the reason why is because you're going through the actual stitch right here, and when you grab your yarn you're holding that in place. That's why we do that. So to finish off number 11, we're going to yarn over, go into the black one, pull up a loop, grab your working yarn and pull through 2. Drop your yellow yarn now and pick up your black yarn to finish that stitch off. And there you go, you have 11 yellow. Now we're going to leave yellow here because this is where we're going to just keep constantly crocheting back and forth, making yellows as we come back through the rows. Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab your piece and you're going to look, okay, now I need 5 black double crochets, and I'm going to pick up my blue yarn and carry it with me. So as you remember, the blue yarn we left right here, so we're going to carry him for 5 stitches. So grab your black yarn, pick up your blue one. I like to put him up over the stitch like this and kind of hold it with my thumb for a moment, my forefinger and my thumb like this, grab my black working yarn, go into the blue stitch, pull up a loop, finish off with that double crochet, and kind of pull on that blue stitch just a tad to make it a little more snug. So that's one. Oops. Here's two. 3, 4, and we're going to have number 5 right here. So you're going to yarn over, go into number 5, pull up a loop, grab your working yarn and only pull through 2 stitches. Sorry, it was pulling. Put your black yarn behind you because he's done. Grab your blue yarn and pull through both of the stitches. Pull on the black yarn a little bit to secure it, and finish with the blue yarn, just like this. As you become more familiar with making these squares, this will be easier and easier to do. And this is normally how people make pictures on as crochet. Okay, so we are done with that row. So this was 12, 13, 14, 15. So that was all of row 15. And as we lay it flat, it is actually starting to look like the picture. So we have the yellow section right here. We just finished this black section right here, and we're working on this section right here. Now remember, this is the first square on the far left of our picture, and this is going to be a wing. So we're actually doing the left wing, or the right wing, because if you turn it over, it is actually reversible. I know you see a lot of strings back here, but we're going to be using those. Okay, so next section, row number 16, chain 1, turn your work, grab your strings, you're going to need them, you're going to double crochet the blue. We are actually almost done. We have 4 more rows. I only made this 20 rows to make it easier to finish a square. So we're going to double crochet to the black section. I will zoom in so you can see. We have 1 more. So when you get to this black section right here, this is where you know you're only going to pull through 2 of those loops. Now we're going to drop our blue yarn, pick up our black yarn, pull through 2 stitches, yarn over, pick up this, and go through the stitch. When I get to this point, I like to grab these 2 stitches at the top of my hook, because that tells me these are not going to be part of these stitches to make my double crochet. Grab my working yarn and pull through, let them go, and finish my double crochet. I'm going to double crochet across the row to my yellow section, because I only have 5 stitches I have to do in black. Once I get to number 4, I'm on the 5th stitch right here where the yellow is. I know I'm going to yarn over, go into my stitch, pull up my working yarn, 3 loops, grab my working yarn, and only pull through 2, because I'm not finishing off that double crochet. I'm now going to drop the black yarn because that section is done, and I'm going to pick up the yellow, yarn over, and pull through both stitches to finish off that black double crochet, yarn over, pick up that yellow stitch, go into the stitch, grab those 2, grab my working yarn and pull through, grab my working yarn and finish off with a double crochet. I'm going to double crochet across the row back to the beginning. I'm going to double crochet across this row, and I'm going to meet you back at this black section. So I will be back. Okay, so I'm back, and I worked my yellow double crochets across the row, chained one, and double crocheted all the way back. We are now on row number 17. I'm going to yarn over, go into my last yellow stitch, grab my working yarn, excuse me, pull up a loop, and I'm going to grab my working yarn and only pull through 2. I'm going to drop that yellow yarn because I'm done with that row, and I'm going to pick up my black one like this, and I'm going to pull through both stitches. I'm going to pull on that yellow yarn to give it a little bit of secureness. I'm going to yarn over, pick up this stitch, go into the first black stitch, hold those 2 stitches, grab my working yarn, pull up a loop, grab my working yarn, pull through 2, grab my working yarn and pull through 2. Going to double crochet till I get to the last black stitch, which is right here, and I'm going to repeat that stitch all over again. Yarn over, go into the stitch, grab my working yarn and pull up a loop, grab my working yarn, only pull through 2. Take my black yarn, yes, it got a little tangly, this is what happens, that's why I only did 20 rows. Grab my working black yarn and put it behind me because I'm done with it, and I'm going to pick up my blue yarn, and then I'm going to pull through both black stitches, grab the black yarn and kind of pull on it to secure it a little bit. Okay, now that I have my blue yarn, yarn over, go under that little stitch and under the other stitch. Hold those 2 with my thumb and forefinger, grab my working yarn and pull through 3 loops, pull through 2, pull through 2 to finish off with a double crochet. This is row number 17. I have 3 more rows until I get to row number 18. And if we look at this, we can see rows 17, 18, 19, and 20 are all going to be the same. So repeat those steps that I showed you for the yellow section into the black section into the blue section. I will meet you back when I have rows 20 done. Excuse me, when I finish rows 18, 19, and 20. I will meet you back. Alrighty, so I'm back and I am actually on row 20 right here, and I will help you finish this one off. So I just finished crocheting the blue. I'm going to yarn over, go into my blue stitch so I can change it from blue to black, yarn over and pull through 2, put my blue behind me and pick up my black stitch, and then I'm going to pull through both loops, pull on my blue a little bit to secure that, yarn over, pick up that stitch, go into the stitch, hold those 2, grab my working yarn and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2 to finish off for a double crochet. I'm going to double crochet across the row till I get to the yellow section. Now at this point, hold on. So as you can see, the yarn gets pretty tangly. That is why I've only done 20 rows. At this point, since we're on row number 20, you can actually take your scissors and actually cut the blue yarn and move it away from the rest of the yarns, just like I've done here. So that way that tangle is done. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to finish the black row of this one. Okay, and I have one more, and as you can see, it keeps getting tangled with the yellow. So you just kind of hold on to it and kind of just pull on the black. And then I'm going to yarn over, go into my last stitch, pull up a loop, grab my working yarn, pull through 2. I'm going to grab my scissors, cut off the black yarn because I'm done with this now. We are on row 20, and I'm going to pick up the yellow yarn, pull through, grab that little piece and kind of secure it. Yarn over, pick up that fake little stitch, go into the stitch, hold those 2 with my thumb and forefinger, grab my working yarn to pull through both, grab my working yarn, pull through 2, pull through 2. Finish off with a double crochet. I'm going to double crochet all the way to the end, and as you can see, my black yarn is coming up and over. The best thing that you're going to want to do is just grab your black yarn and wrap it around your ball and try and get it to come out of that yellow yarn. That way it'll quit pulling on your yarn. So all I'm doing is wrapping up my my black yarn, and then I'm going to pull out a little bit of yellow yarn, so that way it quits pulling on my work as I'm crocheting. And so now I'm going to go back to crocheting the yellow. And then once I get to the end, I am going to fasten off, and I am going to be done with wing square 1. I'm only going to do 1 square today since we are starting a project, and there was a lot that I had to talk about, such as tools, how the project is going to work. In the next video, I am going to try and do 2 of the wing sections. So here we are. Yarn over, pull on that, and pull on this. I'm going to grab my scissors and cut my yarn, and then I'm just going to pull right out. And here we are. This is what the wing square 1 looks like. Hopefully you had a lot of fun crocheting this wing square 1 with me of the Batman blanket. I will see you in the next video. Please don't forget to leave me a like down in the comment section. Let me know if you're enjoying this video and how your day is going. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.